Hello, it's Maryon Stewart, and I'm here this evening because I promised to answer some of your questions. And I know leading up to the holidays, symptoms can be really trying, so I wanted to try and make it a bit better for you. So I'm just going to start, see how I get on. If you want to post some more, you're welcome to, but I'm going to use my iPad and just go through some of the questions that I've got here and see if I can answer them. Lots of you asked the same questions, and I have made lots of films. We've got films in the group as well, so you can go and have a look at some of the films if you like. So let's have a look and see. There was one. So Tracy Whittet Johnson, you're first. You basically said, does anyone know they are happy with their life but have a hard time showing it? Feel like you're in a cloudy bubble. Okay, so let me just answer that first of all. There's a reason for that. You go into what I call economy mode at the time of the menopause because you're running on empty, or at least you're running very low, particularly of nutrients, important nutrients that help to keep your brain chemistry and your hormones functioning normally. And so what tends to happen is that you function, but you don't have much stamina, you don't have much energy, you don't have much enthusiasm. It's just like you're dragging yourself through life, doing the bare minimum. So when it comes to things like libido, sense of humour, just even enjoyment of your life, it's really difficult to feel it in the way you normally would. So what you need to do is get yourself back into good nutritional shape and top up your naturally occurring estrogen levels. And in the short term, you can do some exercise, because that stimulates the release of endorphins and makes you feel good. And also make sure you're doing things that you really enjoy. I know exactly what it feels like when you have high levels of cortisol too, so cortisol rather, when you're stressed and your cortisol levels go up, that's a symptom of high cortisol, where it seems like you're looking through different colour lenses, and instead of the rose-tinted ones you normally see it through when you're happy, you're seeing it through much darker lenses, and it's horrible, and you know that you should be getting so much more joy out of life. One of the things that you can do to get joy, I've been reading this amazing book about a week that the Dalai Lama spent with Archbishop Desmond Tutu, and they were talking about joy and how you capture joy in your life. And one of the things that they agreed on was that doing good things for other people makes you feel joyful. So even when you're not feeling great yourself, if you can get your act together and do something nice for someone else, it will make you feel a bit better. In the longer term, certainly my experience is that my program takes 5 months, and it involves really learning to meet your needs and then implementing those recommendations so that you fill up again and you tape up all the holes in the bucket, as it were, so that you can fill up again and top up on naturally occurring estrogen, do your exercise, relaxation, take your supplements that have been through scientific trials so that you're taking the right kind of supplements for your symptoms, and that way you overcome your symptoms. But in the short term, you've got to do a few little tips and tricks for yourself, and that will help you to feel a bit better in weeks rather than months. But you need to actually invest about 5 or 6 months in yourself to get yourself feeling really well again. So I hope that helps a little bit. Okay, bear with me, I've just got to get my iPad back again now and find the next one. Let's see how I can get through these. So Samantha Parfit, she says, hi ladies, the last 3 months my periods have been late. Usually I'm regular, 28 days, then I was 1 day late, then 2.5 weeks late, 2.5 weeks late, then this month 2.5 weeks late, and a bit of spotting. I'm 46 years old, I feel like I'm putting weight on is easier for these months. Is it perimenopause, do you think? I don't get flushes or major mood swings. Okay, so Samantha, perimenopause, peri just means around the time of, and that's for 5 years around the time of your menopause, leading up to your menopause. So the average age that women go through the menopause normally is 51. So you can expect from about your mid-40s to be going through perimenopause. And during that time, it's very different for different people. And so you may find that if you've had a bit of PMS, that your PMS lasts for more days, or you can feel that you're not getting so much joy out of life, or you can feel more tired. You don't have to have hot flushes and night sweats in the beginning. In fact, probably you wouldn't. And that's why people don't even realise they're going through the perimenopause, because they just suddenly feel maybe moody, maybe tearful, maybe a bit anxious, maybe a bit achy. It's just really different. So in other words, it's a change that's happening in your body. Your estrogen levels are falling. You're no longer producing eggs. They're not dropping, or you're running out of eggs. And your nutrient levels are low as well. Certainly if you've had babies and you've done some breastfeeding, Mother Nature makes sure the best of the nutrients go out at those times, and you're the one that gets left high and dry. And our research in the early days on women with PMS found that between 50 to 80% of them had low levels of things like magnesium, B vitamins, iron, zinc, essential fatty acids. Vitamin D is often in short supply. There's so many different things that you can be short of, and it's really hard to put it all back just through your diet initially. So I try and find, and you can do it yourself through one of my books, but you've just got to get the right information. And there is in the group, if you go into the group files in the folders, you'll find there's a nutritional assessment tool. There's various things in there that I've already posted. There are lists of foods rich in important nutrients, so you can assess yourself to see if you've got low levels of nutrients. Or if you want, you can come onto one of my 6-week boot camps, and that's been I'm just having an amazing time with that. In 6 weeks, I'm helping women to turn their lives around. So I'm really, really proud of that. So you can choose the way that you get help, but it is possible to get help. You don't need to go on suffering, and perimenopause is just the beginning. So if you don't do something, then it's going to get worse. But if you learn how to meet your needs at the time of the perimenopause, you can sail through the rest of your menopause and after your menopause as well. Because just because you're post-menopause, that's really the day after you haven't had a period for a year, because you're post-menopause doesn't mean you're suddenly going to feel better. Because if you've got low estrogen levels, they're never going to get right by themselves. And if you've got low levels of nutrients, they're probably just going to get lower. And then you become, because you're no longer protected by estrogen, you become more at risk of things like osteoporosis, the bone thinning disease, heart disease, dementia, and all of those things can be tackled. You can prevent those things by doing a very similar kind of regime to the one that I use in my program for menopause. Lots of research to support that. So this is a great opportunity for you to learn how to meet your needs, get yourself back into really good shape again. So hang on a minute, I'll get my iPad and find another question. Okay, so Paula Kraus says, I get really tired of anxiety brain. So when you haven't been anxious before and you suddenly start to get anxious at this life stage, it's almost like an alien has possessed you. So normally you coast along in your life, you don't think about being anxious, you don't have attention on yourself from the inside, you just think about getting on with your life. But then suddenly something stops you in your tracks, and your attention is dragged to your head, your brain. You're just feeling confused, muddled, maybe you're feeling panicky because you're anxious, and you don't know how to deal with it. So it can be very frightening. Obviously, if you are frightened, go to your doctor, have a checkup, make sure there's nothing else going on, because we don't want to label something menopause that isn't menopause. Having said that, so often nothing shows up in the tests and you're just left not knowing what's going on, but very often it turns out to be that it was something to do with the menopause. So again, when your estrogen levels fall, when your nutrient levels fall, your brain chemistry can't function normally. So it's a bit like if you imagine the conductor in an orchestra that's busily conducting and everything sounds harmonic, and then suddenly you take one arm away from him, the orchestra won't sound too tuneful. And that's what happens in your body. If you're only firing on 2 cylinders instead of 4, which is what happens when you've got low levels of important nutrients, you can't get the right messages going out at the right time, and everything goes sideways. And that's when you start to feel anxious, panicky, when you start to feel achy, when you start to feel moody, and you're just in a hormone pickle. You can climb out of that pit. You can actually get yourself back into good shape, but it does involve learning how to meet your needs. So it's really important. So you can overcome anxiety brain. First of all, I would suggest you took a good, strong multivitamin and mineral supplement. We use Femma 45 Plus. So that's a broad spectrum multivitamin and mineral supplement. It's based on a supplement that we used to use that isn't available anymore in the UK called Gynovite Plus, which had been through a couple of clinical trials and had shown really great results with menopause. So that's the first thing that you can do. So if you've got low levels of nutrients, eating a very nutrient-dense diet as well is important. Making sure that you don't get too tired and you do some relaxation during the day, and taking some exercise, probably are key things. And also having naturally occurring estrogen in your diet, things like soya products, soy milk, soy yogurt, edamame beans, that kind of thing, and some flax seeds, some linseeds. And just make sure, maybe take some Promensal as well, which is the red clover pill that's been through clinical trials. So you can get those things. If you order supplements, go to my shop on my website and enter the code MidlifeSwitch 2017 and you'll get 10% discount. So that goes for anything you order from the shop. I negotiated that for people in the group. So hopefully that will help you a bit, and also to give you some hope that you don't have to go on suffering with anxiety, because it will go completely. Bear with me a minute. My glasses on. Sadly, I wish I knew how to deal with eyesight this life stage, and then I'd be without my glasses. So Joanne Loma says, anyone got a quick fix solution for sicky, headachy, neck achy, general yuck feeling that comes from this wonderful time? Okay, Joanne. So the feeling yuck and achy, I suppose, are probably a bit different to the headachy. So the kind of two groups of things going on there. Lots of people feel achy, and that tends to happen again because you've got low levels of nutrients, maybe particularly essential fatty acids and vitamin D. So you can ask your doctor to measure vitamin D. You can consume oily fish, things like mackerel, herring, salmon, pilchards and sardines. You can take some fish oil supplements as well. Again, you can get those in the shop. And you can also make sure that you're not eating the amine foods that can trigger headaches, so things like cheese, chocolate, alcohol, and pickled foods. And you can also maybe take some feverfew to help with headaches, and you can get the little migra sticks that go on your forehead that help with headaches as well. So they're just a few of the things that you can do to help with those headaches, and a few of the things that you can do to help with aches and pains. There's also glucosamine and chondroitin, which helps to re-establish the lubrication between your joints if you're really achy. You can try that too. So it's really finding the right kind of diet for your body, finding the right kind of regime, the right kind of supplements, and that's what I focus on the boot camp. If you haven't been to one of my master classes, come to one of those. It's a whole hour where I actually really hone in on what's going on in your body at this time of your life and how you can overcome it, and lots of tips on there too, and there are time to get questions answered. So a bit like this, it's pretty informal, but if you haven't been to one, do come to one. Okay, so I'm going to find one more question, and then I'll come back again Friday and answer some more. I promise to do that a few times a week leading up to the holidays. So Terry Johnson Kilgore, you said you keep posting questions and they get removed, but we haven't seen the questions, so I'm not sure where they're going. If you can post again, please, then I will try my best to answer. So Josie Gibson says, this might be my age, almost 50. The fact that we have a puppy, not unlike having a baby, and I'm up most mornings 6 to 6:30 a.m. But come 9:30, around 4 nights a week, I nod off for 10 or 15 minutes, proper deep snooze, then wake up wide awake and raring to go. Anyone experience this? Okay, so what happens is you've got a limited amount of stamina, and that can decrease as you get older if you've got low levels of nutrients. I mean, it can decrease anyway, but if you are meeting your needs, you can feel energetic and you can still do aerobics and feel like you've turned back your biological clock. But what I would suggest you do, there's tons of research to show that power napping helps. But you shouldn't leave your power nap until 9:30 at night, because it's going to muck up your night's sleep. So what you should be doing is having a rest, maybe after lunch or whenever it suits you. Maybe do the Paziz app, which you can get on your phone, and just go into a very deep relaxed state for about at least 20 minutes to half an hour. That's been shown, if you do formal relaxation every day, has been shown to reduce your flushes and night sweats as well by up to 50 or 60%, but it also recharges your batteries. It's a bit like plugging yourself into the mains, so that when you come out the other end, it brings you out again, so you do feel awake, do feel alert, you feel much more efficient, and then you'll find that it comes to 9:30 at night and you're not nodding off, so you can be more sociable, you can enjoy your relationship, or you can enjoy watching a movie or whatever it is you like to do in the evening. So thank you for your questions. Please keep your questions coming. I'm going to be answering some more on Friday, and love to have some feedback. I hope you're enjoying the Advent calendar. If you haven't found it, we've been trying to put bits of it in the group, but unfortunately the software doesn't exist for us to just transfer it. So you'll need to go to my website. It's just maryonstewart.com. You don't have to sign in or anything, but if you just scroll down on the home page, you'll find the Advent calendar, and you can click on the day, and if you've missed some of the days, you can just go back and click on the other days. So we're trying to make that as fun as possible. And I think it's this Friday where we're doing the first draw for the goodie bag. So we've got this amazing goodie bag. Tomorrow I'm going to be launching something really interesting. I'm helping a company who are producing these specialist clothes for menopause that literally help stop you flushing and night sweats. So that's coming tomorrow, so stand by for that, and you can get your paws on them before Christmas or put them on your wish list, and I'll be telling you more about that tomorrow. And then Friday, the goodie bag, and we've got tons of really nice products, and those bags are, in fact I haven't spoken to Julie yet to find out exactly how much they're worth, but I know that they're worth probably over £150 each, maybe even much more than that, because I'm not quite sure everything that we've got in there at the moment, but you'll know more about it on Friday, because I'm going to reveal that too. So come and get into the spirit of this for Christmas, and instead of thinking about how awful it is because you've got all these symptoms, think about how you're going to get better, how 2018 is going to be a great year for you, and we're going to get you right through this so that you feel good, you can embrace your life, and you won't have to be discussing your symptoms in the evenings anymore, because you'll be able to be having cozy times with your partner, or out socialising, or doing the things that you enjoy doing without thinking about dreading going to bed because of the night sweats and the hot flushes and peeing in the night and all the different things that happen when you feel so awfully knocked off your feet by these symptoms. So I look forward to catching up with you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of the evening, and see you soon. Bye.